am Fletcher Brown with another artist video blog here at Kicks96country.com. Our guest today, all the way from Nashville, Tennessee. Please welcome for his very first time at Kicks Country. Now, he's been on the air here before, but he's not been to our studio before. Please welcome Scotty Hasting. How are you, Scotty?
I'm great, man. Thank you so much for having me.
All right, now, we had a lot of fun. I saw you a little more than a month ago at the Country Radio Seminar in Nashville.
Yes.
And you unveiled your latest single, which is a lot of fun. If you haven't already heard it, we're playing it on Kicks 96. If you haven't already heard it, you're going to want to hear it. And you played that live, and you told pretty much a really great story about where that song came from. Yeah. But we're going to get to that.
Okay.
All right, so I want to know, you're one of the more interesting independent artists that I've come across in recent years.
Well, thank you.
And it's mainly because I love a story, and you've got a hell of a story.
I've lived a lot of life.
You have lived a lot of life. You are a veteran, all right?
Yes.
Your last single, I'm America, is kind of directly drawing on your experiences as a veteran, in active duty and active combat and whatnot. Yep. You have so many stories to tell. So let's go back to before the military, before all of that. Yep. And where's Scotty from, and how did he get to music?
Yeah, I am originally from the Cincinnati, Northern Kentucky area. Yeah. I grew up, singing and listening to, country music. Garth Brooks was on repeat all the time. And, I just, but for me, singing was just a hobby. It was just something I did, with my dad and in the car and in the shower. It was never meant to be what it is now. And, and then I decided in 2010 that I wanted more for my life, and I wanted to be a part of something that meant something. And that's when I decided to enlist in the United States Army. And
you want to be a part of something bigger than yourself.
100%.
I understand that completely. Yes. I do understand that. So
yeah, I had this overwhelming draw of just needing to be a part of something that meant something. And I had a family at the time, and I was playing baseball at the time, and I wasn't making any money doing it, and I needed help to support my family as well. So it was kind of like a two birds, one stone type thing. Okay. And so I went into the military, and yeah, man, I deployed to Afghanistan, and ended up getting shot. I got shot 10 times. And
at once, or
at
this
once.
is over the? Oh wow!
At once. Thank God it wasn't more spread out, because then people would be like, "Man, you thought you would have learned," but no, it was all at one time. And yeah, man, it was truly the hardest day I've ever had.
Yeah, and you one of the things that you're fairly open about, at least on your social media and in your stories, that you did struggle with PTSD. 100%.
I mean, it's still. I mean, that never goes away. It's still very actively a struggle that I deal with every day. And PTSD, depression, anxiety. It's something that's there, and it's always there, and it's always going to be there. And I've just been lucky enough to find things that can give me a little bit of an escape and a little bit of the ability to kind of find a purpose, a new purpose.
All right, so you served your country. Thank you very much for that, by the way.
Thank you.
You returned a little worse for wear. You're alive, and you're back to your family. And when did you decide you were going to pick up music again, and why did you make that decision?
Yeah, it's crazy. I shot archery with U.S. Paralympic program for about 6 years, and that was my escape. That was my, for 7 seconds before I released that arrow, nothing in the world mattered. The PTSD, the depression, the anxiety had all disappeared. So I lived for that 7 seconds, and then COVID hit, and the world shut down, and those 7 seconds were taken away. And when it gets quiet is when the demons knock the loudest, and COVID was very, very quiet. Yes. And I needed something to get out of my head, and I always had a guitar in the corner of my room. I don't know why I had it. I guess I just was like, man, girls are going to think I'm artsy. I don't know. But thank God they didn't ever ask me to play it, because I didn't know how to play it at the time. But yeah, I decided that I was going to pick up this guitar, and I was going to jump on YouTube, and I was going to start learning how to play. And I figured that learning how to play the guitar was going to be hard enough that I needed to truly focus on it. And it was. And so I jumped on YouTube, started learning. I learned the best way for me to learn was I started learning songs that I grew up listening to. Yeah. So a lot of 90s country. I learned G, C, E minor, and D, and those are the basic foundation for thousands of songs. And I just started learning songs, and and then I slowly started singing the songs while learning them. And then I was like, okay, so I got it. I found a new escape in learning how to play the guitar and learning how to learn these songs, and then I was like, man, but I still have all these feelings and I still have these thoughts and I still am struggling and I don't know what to do. This cup's about to overflow and I need to get these out. I need to put them somewhere. So then I learned that songwriting was a thing. And I jumped on YouTube and I started learning how to write songs. I started learning how songs are structured and how you go from a verse to a chorus to a bridge and how all that comes together and makes one body of work. And I started just kind of writing songs that weren't really songs at the time. It was just me vomiting emotions and feelings onto a piece of paper because I needed to get them out of myself and put them somewhere.
Kind of like just screaming into the void kind of
100%.
Yeah. I got you.
Yeah. And you know, and it was, and that gave me another escape. It gave me a new sense of purpose. It gave me the ability to take things that I was truly struggling with and put them somewhere else. And you know, that was incredible. So I did a lot of that. I did a lot of just writing stuff down. And then it went from that to the world started opening up again. And I went to Cookeville, Tennessee, and I went to an open mic night in Cookeville, Tennessee. And I decided to jump on stage for whatever reason. I guess I was just like, you know, why not? And jumped on stage and I played the first song I ever learned how to play, which Should Have Been a Cowboy by Toby Keith.
Great.
And in that moment, that escape that I had found in everything else, that escape and that sense of purpose, it was there on that stage, but it was magnified 100 times. And in that moment, the stage became my sanctuary. And I knew that I needed to do this forever, to the point of where the world started opening up even more. And I jumped downtown on Broadway and I walked up and down Broadway for like a good month and a half, just bugging the crap out of people until they lit me on stage. And eventually I was playing 5 to 6 nights a week down on Broadway. My vocal cords hated me, but I was able to get 4 hours of being in a moment with completely away from the PTSD, the depression, the anxiety, and I lived for 4 hours a day. Like when I'm on stage, it's the only place in the world where I can find where I am able to be in a moment. You know, when you suffer from PTSD, depression, and anxiety, the way that I do it, I live in Afghanistan a lot. I think about my best friends a lot, all the time. And when I can find a way to get away from that and live in a moment, that is truly magical. And I have been able to find that on the stage.
I love that. I love your story. I love that you're a veteran. I mean, you're a Purple Heart recipient. And you came back and you picked up music. And you've done that very well, very successfully, and you still use that to be a part of. You've integrated that into like your military service, and
Absolutely.
You played in France last year.
I did. Yeah, that was wild. Yeah, you know, I figured, you know, if I'm gonna, you know, music has become my therapy. When I'm playing music, anytime you're listening to me sing, anytime you're seeing me play music, that is active therapy that you're watching happen right there. And it saved my life, and it truly saved my life. And I want to be able to do my part as much as I can to help someone find something the way that I was. You know, I lost 6 people in Afghanistan, and I've lost 12 and counting since we've been back. And it's, you know, I have a platform now, and I have the ability to speak to people and try to let them understand that they're not alone and they can still be successful and they can still do a lot of great stuff. And hopefully that makes them want to move forward and continue on. But yeah, we got to play in France, and it was one of the most incredible experiences I've ever had in my life. I was able to connect with World War II vets. There was one specifically, Dennis Bolt. He was 99 years old, and I got to play some music for him. The last time he was in France, he was 19 storming the beach.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Really?
Yeah, and it was incredible to be with him because you just see like, I said it there, like the World War II vets, like being there, you're watching something that will never happen again. Like they went there and they liberated this whole country. I mean, and when you go there, like everyone's so thankful. Like these World War II vets are rock stars when they're there, and it is the coolest thing ever. And one of the most amazing things that you can see is Dennis, like watching him realize that the hell that he went through was for this.
Yes,
and it was so incredible to see, like
the fruits of your labor, yeah, Dennis. 100%. Thank you, brother.
Like the worst of the worst times for him. Like this is why it happened, and it was so beautiful to see that, you know, that all of the bad happen for this great stuff that's happening. It was incredible, and there were so many moments where it was just spiritual moments, man, and it was incredible.
All right, we could talk about your veterans experiences in military service all day. I love stories like that. I come from a family full of veterans, and from, I mean, not as far back as World War II, but I got plenty of them. Mostly Vietnam, but trust me, they're there. But I want to talk about your current single. Now, obviously you say your music is therapy, and you have a lot of fun with music, and I love the fun that you had with this latest single. It's called Pro Beer.
Yes.
And I am very pro beer. I vote for beer in every election, and beer never wins. And I want to talk about that, but this is not the moment to do that. Where did Pro Beer come from? Tell me why you wrote this.
You know what's funny is I didn't write this. This song, so we put out the EP called I'm America, and with that EP, we wanted it to be very much me opening my heart and soul and letting you see who I am. And, you know, because if I'm going to help anybody with my music and with my story, I need to be 100% vulnerable. I need to be wide open so people can see me. So we did that. But then we looked back and we were like, man, there's not like a lot of fun stuff like that. And all my friends were like, dude, stop making serious songs. You're not that serious. And I was like, well, all right, you're right, man. Absolutely. So that song, you know, came across Doug's desk and we heard it for the first time. And I immediately was like, I want to cut this. Like, this is amazing. You know, the best part about it is it's a fun song, but at the root of it, it's a song about people coming together and just having fun, man. And that's, you know, so important, especially now, man. We need that more now than we've ever done.
Absolutely, 100%. We all need a beer now.
Absolutely. You know,
I don't care what beer you drink. Just bring me a Stella. We're good.
100%. We all just need to get together and just have fun, man. And you know, there's something so magical about music in the sense that you can take two completely different people and turn on like friends in low places or don't stop believing, and for 3 minutes they become one. You know, and that's so incredible. And that's, you know, kind of the idea behind this song is that we're just here to have fun, man, and just get together and just be. I immediately fell in love with this song. I love it.
The song it's not a political statement. It's not even an anti-political statement. It's just a, what are you doing? Have some fun statement.
100%. That's exactly what it is.
It is. It's just like, you know, have some fun. I'm just like, I may be this, I may be that, but I'm definitely pro beer.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. And Scotty, I love your story. It's it really is one of the most captivating stories I've heard in a very, very long time.
Thank you.
And I have absolutely every faith that our listeners will agree with me. So if somebody is hearing this right now and they're thinking, I've got to hear this man's story, where do they find you on the internet?
You can find me at Scotty Hasting Music on all platforms, scottyhasting.com. And man, my story is definitely out there.
It is fascinating. You really want to check this guy out. His last single was I'm America. We played it. If you want to hear Pro Beer, call us at Kicks 96. We'll gladly play that for you. Again, it's already on our playlist. And Scotty, hopefully we can get you back down here, man.
I would love that.
All right.
Absolutely.
So his very first time at Kicks 96 country, Scotty Hasting is our guest. Pro Beer is the single. Look for a live performance from Scotty elsewhere here in our YouTube channel. We will see you next time on another artist video blog. Kicks96country.com.
Yeah, the only agenda I'm pushing is chilling on a back porch cushion. A six-pack in with a couple of friends who take me as I am. Yeah, they know where I keg stand. I'm pro beer.